Now it's time for Tennessee WildCast, live from Studio B at the TWRA headquarters in Nashville. Here are your hosts, Doug and Jason.
All right, everybody, how's it going? Welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. I'm Jason Harmon, and in studio with me today is Mr. Doug Markham.
Hello, Jason.
And Captain Dale Grandstaff.
Yes, sir.
So we're excited. We're going to be talking about deer season today.
Imagine that.
It's underway and going well.
Yep, it is. And we're live.
We are live on Facebook.
We're just throwing it out here today. Just surprise. People want to ask us questions, you can. If you want to ask Dale questions, you can.
I'll be monitoring it, and hopefully we can catch most of those questions and get those answered for you.
If not, we're going to talk about it. This will be posted out there for a while. If you missed Dale last year talking about, you missed a really great show, so we brought Dale back on short notice, and thanks, Dale, for coming in here because
no problem.
He's a very busy person right now. As you know, wildlife officers, when the deer start moving and the hunters start moving with them, you guys are nonstop.
The next 3 weeks are probably some of the busiest that we will work all year.
Yeah. Long hours, little sleep, all that kind of stuff. So
it's the best time of year, I think.
It's a great time of year, and Dale's going to tell us why. But before we get to talking about the deer season, let's talk about tree stand safety. And it's to me, it's like the life jacket that you talk about for years. Sometimes I think it goes in one ear and out the other. I hope not, because invariably, always, there's going to be somebody that falls out of a tree stand, it seems like every year, and paralyze themselves or kill themselves. Wear the harness. I just wear the safety stuff, right, Dale?
That's the main thing, and we've probably all been guilty of it. I have, at times when I was younger, wouldn't wear something, but the older I get, the more injuries, the more falls I see. It will happen. If you are going to be in a tree in a stand at some point in your hunting career, it's going to happen. You're going to slip.
Yep. Or the limbs where you're climbing, something's going to break.
Some mechanical failure, something's going to happen and you're going to fall.
And I just remember we were talking prior to coming on a couple, 3 years ago. There was 2 or 3 young men in 1 year. They were all 20, 21, and they're paralyzed to this day because they didn't have on their harness. They fell and broke themselves up. Had a lady fall in Sumner County the other day and break her back.
Yes.
And so hopefully she's okay. We haven't heard more than that. But they're not that expensive, are they, Dale?
No, very, very cheap and comfortable now. There's different styles, but there's no reason to not have a safety harness on.
You speak of the amount. What kind of prices? How much is your life?
Really? Yeah, $100. It's $100 or
even
less.
If
most
it was
of
a
them
couple
are
$100.
Dale. But and even the comfort level. That's what the complaint. It's not. They're very comfortable now. Very easy. Very comfortable.
Same way with a life jacket. They're so comfortable you don't notice them anymore. Seatbelt. I've been wearing one for 30 years. It doesn't feel right. It's the same stuff. Just take care of yourself and
start doing it, and
do it for your family.
Make it a habit, and it's easy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We got deer season about to start. The gun.
Okay.
With the gun.
All right, Doug.
I know where
you
you're
been
going
on
with that. Dale, how's it been? How's the archery season been?
Archery season has been pretty good. It's been warm, as we all know. It's been warm, and the deer, have moved a little bit. But in the past week, they've really picked up on their movement, and people can see that just being on the highways. So the deer are getting hit now, and what that means is not that hunters are in the woods moving the deer, it's that the rut is starting to kick in.
We're going to show them. Are you going to show that photograph a minute of the deer that was hit the other day?
Yeah,
get that?
we've got that.
We'll pop that up there in a minute because it's a big deer and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So it's getting that time of year, Dale. The kids hunted too. Actually, they did the first guns. That was last weekend. How did that hunt go?
The statewide youth hunt was successful because, last year we were just over, I think, 4,500 to 5,000 deer, but this year we're around 5,500 to 6,000, I think. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was up a little bit this year, and probably had a lot to do with the weather. It was cool this weekend, but the deer really moved Sunday, a little bit better than Saturday, but great numbers overall. District 21, I looked at our numbers, and we were close to 1,000 deer total for the 2-day youth hunt.
Okay.
Just in District 21.
And that Saturday morning was cold.
Yeah.
That was cold.
Yeah.
So did the kids still got out there?
The kids still went. There were some youth hunts scheduled, like at Cheatham WMA, and a lot of youth went and hunted. But I think the best day I feel like was Sunday. It's where I heard more great deer taken. There was some good deer taken on Saturday, but more on Sunday, it seemed like.
A little less cold on Sunday, too.
Yeah.
There might have been more kids out there possibly hunting that day. So did Tucker go?
Tucker did not go. We were busy on that weekend. So.
Tucker going soon, though, isn't he?
Well, actually, he's not old enough. I wasn't aware of that, but you got to be 6 to 16 to go on this.
Right.
Yes.
Tucker's still under
Tucker's
6.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good thing you didn't go.
I never thought about that, but you got to be a certain age. But after that, they can go.
He can go this weekend.
Yeah, he can go this weekend.
Yeah.
He can go this weekend
That's funny,
as long
but
as
yeah,
Daddy's with him.
That's the rules.
That's right. Okay. All right. Well, so Dale, here we are coming up on the muzzleloader season, and you were saying before we started, it's as popular a hunt now as there is.
Yeah, muzzleloader season for us in the state seems to be when people take their vacations, when they want to be in the woods for those 2 weeks because it is kicking off the rut. The weather's cool. They've been archery hunting for about a month, but it's the time to be in the woods. And the muzzleloaders are so good now that it's almost like it's a rifle season. It's a single shot rifle almost is what it seems like.
So it just keeps on going. We start and it goes to mid-January.
When we start now with the gun season on Saturday, it will run into around the first week of January.
Yeah, and want to remind everyone, we're going to have check stations that we'll work this weekend in the opening of the gun season, and then there'll be also probably working at processors, doing a little bit of work on the processor will be doing some work on chronic wasting disease.
Yes.
So if you are at a processor and you see some work going on, that's what it is. Just making sure we don't have it in Tennessee. But the check stations we'll put out on our website if you want to help us out with our deer management. Take your deer there and check it in there instead of on the phone. But you can check in on the phone if you want to.
Let me mention something. It's on my mind. Every year we have people that hunt on this muzzleloader season hunt. They will use a shotgun. For some reason, some people think a shotgun is equivalent to a muzzleloader. It is not. It's a muzzleloader only season. So keep that in mind. You can't use a shotgun. You can't use a rifle. It is a muzzleloader only season.
You have to load it from the front.
Yes,
Okay.
and that is from Saturday the 4th until the 17th of November.
17th, yeah.
Okay. Dale, all the folks you see out there hunting, I know muzzle loaders, the technology has gotten so good and scoped so good and all that, but are there still some that go out there with things as primitive as a flintlock?
Oh, yeah. It's almost like the bow hunter that refuses to use a compound bow and uses a long bow or recurve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there are people that want to do this completely traditional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting, and I can see either way,
Yeah.
going out there and doing just whatever makes you have
happy.
fun.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's what you do. It's been, believe it or not, Dale, it's been 1 year almost since you went and checked the Tucker butt.
Because I got the text.
Yeah.
On November the 7th at around 7 a.m. Yeah.
7 a.m. I can't
November
believe it's
7th.
already been a year. And the Tucker buck right now still stands as the biggest buck, well,
Largest
biggest-
non-typical.
non-typical points and score on a rack ever in the world.
As a hunter harvested deer.
Hunter harvested, and
Yeah.
that's always key, not something that was run over.
No, it was hunter harvested. Yes.
Okay, and Stephen Tucker is still holding on to that. What's the situation? Where are we right now with it?
I know he's probably. I haven't talked to him in several months, but I'm sure he's still getting asked to go to places with it and show up with it and speak about it. I would assume his next absolute step would be the 2019 scoring event in Missouri.
So he's got one more big time to get nervous.
Yeah.
He can not be nervous until then and be nervous.
And he would, if he were not in the top 5, he's the top one, but not in the top 5 killed within that three-year period, he wouldn't be invited to go to it. So the score that it has been given would be the absolute score, and we would have already entered it into our state registry.
Okay.
And no issues. But we have to wait until that 2019 scoring because he is going to be in the top 5, and he will be invited to that scoring event.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is interesting. But anyway, by the way, we have a replica of it right here at TWRA out in the lobby. If you ever come by the agency, we have it sitting out there right now, and it's touring around a little bit. And Dale, it's a wonderful rack. It's not a big, massive rack like people think. And we're going to get to a subject about cluster bucks here in a minute, but it's not a big, massive rack. It's just a rack it's got a lot of intricacies and points, and it's a cool rack, but it's just
It's
not
only
massive.
just over 14 inches wide inside, but it's got a lot of tine length, a lot of points, and a lot of tine length. And that's what throws the score up so high. And this is interesting for you guys to know, for the people that are listening to know. Our top 4 bucks in the state of Tennessee, the top 4, 2 are from Sumner County and 2 are from Haywood County. All 4 of those bucks are cluster bucks,
Okay.
which are unusual.
Wow.
But all 4 of our 4 top non-typicals are all cluster bucks. 2 from Sumner, 2 from Haywood.
And Sumner's here in Middle Tennessee, Haywood's in West Tennessee?
In Region 1, yes.
Okay, what we call Region 1. So there's some kind of
Each
cluster
county,
of cluster bucks in
Each
them.
county has produced several cluster bucks.
Okay.
It's it's like there's a hot bed of cluster bucks in each of those counties.
All right. Do we have
Yeah.
pictures of cluster bucks?
I don't have any with
Okay.
me right now.
All right.
But if you want to see them, are we going to have a display available to see those?
Hopefully at the NWTF convention in February, we will have some cluster bucks to show people.
What
Yes.
is it, Dale? What are they? Without you can go on, you can look up cluster bucks, no problem with a Google search. I would think.
I call
cluster
them.
rack.
I call them. They are not a typical, non-typical rack, which is kind of confusing. But when you think of a non-typical rack, you think of points and splits and kickers and drops. Well, these things, for some reason, they come up. The bases are normal, the brows are normal, and in the turn at the G2, they start making this cluster of points that just are very unusual. And I can't explain why they do it. I think it could be environmental, it could be genetic, but I don't know.
The Tucker buck is a cluster buck?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, we saw plenty of that last year, and you can see it easily by searching also. But are these the deer that stand to maybe even break Stevens' record one day? And could it come from Tennessee?
It would probably have to be my guess, a cluster buck that would break the record. Anything over 300 inches is just enormous, and it's got to have a lot of points. And when they create that cluster, that's what creates the points and the time length. It's just when the damage or the genetics, whatever causes it, when it starts to grow, it puts a lot of points in that spot.
Do y'all see that a lot? And let's go ahead and pull up the photo of the deer that got run over here recently.
Sure.
Show the other. Did you get both of them?
Yes.
The one when it was alive.
Is that it? That's the one that got run over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one more just past that, I believe. That's a velvet of the deer in summertime.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is unfortunate. Now, is this a cluster buck or just a big buck?
This would just be a normal buck that you would see all over the country, as far as rack, the way the rack looks.
But that's from the similar close to the area where the record was taken, and just
It's just unfortunate, and that's what's going on right now. The rut is starting to kick in, and if you think about it, you may see a fawn in your yard, around your house, the last week of April, first week of May, and those doe are going to get bred right now, and they'll have those late April, early May. So the breeding season is going to start, but it's going to really peak in the next 2 weeks.
okay. So that deer, that hunter is going, whoa!
Oh, somebody's gonna-
so, yeah.
Yeah,
It just got crazy and got run over.
got ran over. Yeah, they're moving.
That's unfortunate. So, beware if you're out there in an automobile. This is the time of year where you really need to be cautious.
The next 2 weeks for sure. You can drive down any interstate right now in this northern half of the state, and you're going to see deer laying on the side of the road every morning and every night.
So, as a hunter that you are, Dale, you're a really excellent hunter, and you love deer and have a passion for all that. Is this your favorite time to hunt? And if you're hunting right now, are you only hunting the rut? Are you hunting food at all, or how's it going to fall out?
Archery season is more of a food source, like if you put a food plot in, a picked cornfield, bean field, acorns when they start falling. But when it gets into this time frame, you could be hunting an open field, just a hay field with no real food source in it, in the middle of the day, and one will cross it. And it's a deer you've never seen before because he's from 2 miles away, and he's just out looking for a doe.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you get into later in the season. This happens throughout November. When you get into December, we have a rut. There will be still some doe coming in. But late December is more of a food source, big cornfield, a wheat field, so the deer are going to concentrate.
So you may think you know what you're going to be looking at Saturday morning when you go out, but you may see something that you have never seen before.
Or the one you're hunting may be shot
2
3 or
miles.
4 miles down the road, and you think there's no way, but yeah, they travel. Yeah.
Okay, traveling really good. All right. What's your feeling on the health of deer in Tennessee? I know we went through this state record, this world record thing and all that, and I still see comments out there where people don't think Tennessee have big bucks in it. I think we probably do really well, but I'm not a deer hunter, so you tell me what you think the state of deer.
I'll say I know we had some EHD issues this year in East Tennessee, and a lot of people lost some really good deer. That's going to happen every year. No matter what we do, it's going to happen. But as far as our deer herd in our state, I think we're at a great place. Just as far as what you can kill, when you can kill it, the length of our season, you can't complain about not being able to go because it's several months long. You may not hunt with a bow, but you still got plenty of opportunity to hunt with a muzzle or a rifle and a long time to do it. So as far as a state deer herd, I think people are really seeing a lot of great deer coming from the state. Already this year, we've had some youth hunt, some kids on the youth hunts take some really great deer. Some archery deer have been taken. There was one in Williamson County that's going to go in the 190s.
Is that the one you showed me a little while ago?
No, I don't
Okay.
think we have it on here,
Okay.
but I've it's on social media. It's floating around. It's a really big deer. So several great deer have been taken already this year. We will see some big deer taken Saturday, Sunday this week. But for the next 2 weeks, some great deer will come out of the state.
Going to be interesting to see
Yeah.
all that as we get it. And we hope, tell them a little bit about Tag Board, and they can
You-
send shots into us.
Yeah, if y'all get you a big deer this weekend, or even if you don't, I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. It's if it's a trophy to you, post it on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag TN Trophy Room, and it'll end up on our tag board, and you can look at that on our app. You can look at that on our website. But
What you got up there on the behind us?
that's one of the deer that
Yeah, it was from this weekend.
On
youth
social?
hunt. Yeah, on social media. All these pictures we have are on social media, and just kind of circulating around. But this one was out of Robertson County this weekend.
All right, another
just
county up there around the Kentucky
on
line.
that north end. Great mass. I think this deer was a 17 or 18 pointer total as far as the amount of points on it.
Oh, wow.
It's got a lot of stickers around the base, but just a good massive deer and deer of a lifetime for a kid.
and this one was out of LBL.
Land Between the Lakes. This one is floating around on social media, but a 9-pointer out of LBL. Great deer.
That is a big old
I
deer.
think that's an archery kill out
it's
of
an
LBL.
archer. Yeah, that is just awesome.
Hey, real quick before we leave, what you think about the deer and how the deer are doing in the state? Like a guy mentioned, do you think we do enough to protect the areas that had a larger EHD breakout? Do you think we ought to be doing something and limiting some of the doe harvest, or you think we're doing all right?
I think our biologists are going to monitor what's going on in those areas, and if something needs to be changed, they'll look at it and change it. But you can't make a quick non-biological decision based on just seeing a few deer dead. You have to let our biologists say, okay, if something needs to be done, let them look at it and work through it.
Right.
EHD, hemorrhagic disease, it's not new. It happens every year somewhere, some years worse than others. 2008 or 9, we had a really bad outbreak, and this year has been bad in some spots.
Yeah.
But that one year it was bad all over the place.
It was 2007.
Seven.
It was the freeze in the spring. It was the drought all summer, and it was the EHD in that fall. And it was just
Oh, wow.
it was
Perfect storm.
devastated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really hurt a lot of stuff, but it's bounced back since then. The thing that we're worried about far more than EHD is chronic wasting disease, and that's why we're going to have biologists out this weekend and throughout the year, working at processors, I think mostly, and they're pulling some tissue out of these deer, so they're just checking them for chronic wasting disease. We don't want chronic wasting disease. You're going to hear us say that a whole lot. From this agency, help us keep Tennessee CWD free. It's a campaign we're doing because we don't ever want CWD. And once you get it here, you are a CWD
here.
state forever. And it's contagious, and it can work through your deer herd, your elk herd, and it can destroy a lot of animals. And it also causes us to have to go in and do some work we don't want to do.
And people need to remember, if they're going out of state to hunt,
Absolutely.
look at our hunting guide. It'll show you which states you cannot bring a whole deer back from into the state.
And our website has information on it. It's tnwildlife.org. It'll show you. We borrowed a video from our friends in Arkansas who are going through this about how to debone one properly. There's information out there. There's a good video Barry Cross did, working with a local taxidermist on some other how to clean the teeth and all that kind of stuff. All that's on our website and easy to find.
Right there on our homepage.
Right there on our homepage about chronic wasting disease. I'll tell you right now, Arkansas is our next door neighbor. That's shaded yellow. That means chronic wasting disease for us on our website. And then you got Missouri next door, and you got Virginia next door. So all of those, you got to bring your deer back the way our import restrictions say. Correct?
Several Midwest states, Western states. So just be mindful of that when you go hunting.
It's a mule deer, or it's a deer, white-tailed deer, or it's an elk, or it's a moose,
Caribou.
or caribou up there. There's even a couple of Canadian provinces if you travel a long
I
way
think so, yes.
that are on that map, and you have to be careful. What'd you bring here, Dale, before we get out of here?
I just brought some something to put on the table. These are
That would be your typical.
this is pretty much a typical rack, but mature, good mass on it. But it's not going to score a whole lot. It's going to score in the high 120s, 130. But he's mature. This would be a good deer to take, and you can not look at his antlers, but look at his body. I'm sure this deer had a big chest, smaller back end, but just looked old. And when I'm looking for a mature deer, I'm really not looking at the rack. I'm looking at the body.
Looking at the body.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And when do you start collecting those things? I know that's we
They'll-
talked about it some last year, but when do they start falling off?
Depending on how they rut or if they're injured, some of them will start dropping them in late December, several in February, but it's almost like the rut. It'll start, a few will drop, and a few doe will come in, as far as I'm just comparing it to a rut, and then it'll peak. So a lot of them will drop off, and then some will hold them till late, even in April. So they'll start in January, they'll peak in March, and then they'll start to fall off, and a few will hold them into April and early May.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you still collecting them like you
I
used to?
still, if I'm out walking, and I see one, I'll pick it up.
All right, Dale. Any tips for the hunters this weekend? What's your tips to them?
Just definitely be safe. Have permission wherever you're going to hunt. Wear a harness if you're climbing a tree stand. Remember, it's muzzleloader only. And once you shoot the deer, definitely, absolutely check it in as quick as you can. Don't wait till you get home and think, I'll check it in later, because some people forget it. And then your picture starts floating around on social media, and then we get a call, and you haven't checked it in. So we're going to check on it. So make sure you check those deer in.
All right, yeah. And remember the bag limit for bucks, 2 a year?
2 per season,
One
only
per day. 1 per day. And then check it out, the guide page. What page is that, Dale?
22.
22 for season dates, and you can get your bag limits depending on where you are across the state. You can go on and
Our summary's online there. You check that out.
our new, our updated app is out there. If you haven't downloaded it yet, do that. You iPhone users shouldn't have any problem at all. You Android users have to delete it and then upload it again. It's got a lot of great information on it, and it's just going to get better and better through the years and make life a lot more easier for you as a hunter or an angler heading out every day. So anyway, Dale, appreciate your time
No
today.
problem.
We'll
Thank
get you back soon when you get a little rest, okay?
Okay.
You always do great.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching this edition of Tennessee WildCast, and keep coming back and watching us. Thanks for watching on Facebook today, and those who commented or had questions. We hope we got to those, but just keep following us on tnwildlife.org and all our social media.
And we're going to talk about the winter trout program probably in a week or so. If you're interested in getting out, that's about to start, and we'll be talking about that maybe next week.
Yep.
Okay?
All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks.
Thank y'all.